to the 123 Movies podcast. These are my co-hosts, Brianna Ramirez and Mateus Strain, and my name is Sabina Muftic. And today we have a small collection of movies that we want to talk about our analysis of, and we're going to go over the plots and our opinion on them. We're going to talk about Saltburn, Girl Asleep, and But I'm a Cheerleader. So let's start with Saltburn. The director is Emerald Fennell, and the rundown of the plot is basically it follows the main character, Oliver Quick. He is this freshman in college. He just got in. He's a freshman, right?
I think so.
Right. Okay. So he went to Oxford University, and it shows like him going in, and at the start he doesn't really have many friends, and then he meets Felix. He's played by Jacob Elordi, and he meets Felix because Felix comes up to him and they kind of that's the first person Oliver gets to know. And Felix is like very outgoing. He's very bubbly. He's also very rich and has a lot of power, which is important for the plot. And Oliver becomes infatuated with him, becomes obsessed. He constantly is thinking about Felix, and Felix does not have the mutual feelings for Oliver. But Oliver doesn't really feel that way for Felix, like romantically. Not only, I think he does have maybe a little bit of a crush on Felix, but it's not just that. I think he just likes the power and everything involving Felix. There's this one article review by the Oberlin Review on February 9th, 2024. The author, Chloe Bacara, said, "The film dips its toes into themes of wealth and its intersection with obsession and desire through the story of Oliver Quick." So that quote just shows how the movie is very big on like just wealth and obsession, desire through one character. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah.
Yeah, I think Oliver is very weird. There's like real no other way to put that. He's just like an awkward person. And I think his infatuation with Jacob Elordi's Felix is very, like, in a weird way, it's like envy, you know? He very much wants to be like Felix, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, definitely throughout the whole movie, you do see him try to be Felix. Like, throughout, like, I'd say, like, back when they go to, like, Saltburn, to Felix's house, you can see him morph more into a Felix. Like, how when he's, like, Oliver, like, when he's back at Oxford, you can see how he's more, like, approachable, you could say, more, like, kind, less, like, outgoing. But as soon as they get back to Saltburn, all of a sudden he's put on the same, like, facade, I guess, that Felix had, where he's like the big, strong one. He's the one that's kind of like outgoing, like, I'm gonna introduce myself to you, we're gonna be friends because I'm doing this, like how Felix was back at Oxford, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like Felix is kind of unaware of this, especially when they're at Oxford, that Oliver, like, or like Felix means so much to Oliver. And I feel like he's so unaware. And then it really does come to light how much Oliver wants to be like Felix, how much he like adores Felix.
Yeah, I think a lot of that obsession with Felix also came from when Oliver was invited to Felix's summer house in Saltburn, and that's where the whole movie takes place. And I think because there was that one scene when he just came. When Oliver was just coming in, it was like a house tour, and it was like it showed like the point of view of Felix giving the house tour, like from Oliver's point of view, and I think that was like really good at just showing like the start of it all, kind of like that was just the start. Even though they knew each other before, that was like where it all began, because Felix's house was huge. It was like this really old, like rich, gorgeous. Yeah, it was a mansion.
And it was his summer house too.
It was his summer.
Not even like his
that
house
wasn't even his house. Yeah. So Oliver was like, this is like my chance. This is where I'm gonna get my power. This is my house. That's what he thought.
Yeah.
I kind of want to bring back to the quote that you had said, where the, like, I guess author of the article that it was written in said that it had beautiful, like, cinematography but lacked in plot and story. I kind of agree. I kind of think so. I think that in plot, it is a good idea. I think it's a good, like, fun idea to have, like, would this be considered a psychological horror movie?
I think it's not so much a horror as much just like
Psychological.
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's like a psychological horror movie about, like, power and money. Like, that's, I feel like, a common thought to have, but not too common to see. But I feel like it was mostly focused on the cinematography. Like, there's obviously beautiful sets, beautiful, like, shots, but I really feel like I didn't get to meet the characters. I just got to see them and, like, see them in different, like, aspects and see them do things, but not, like, know who they are, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely get that with like the side characters. You really get that with like Venetia or
Yeah.
Farley. Farley's Felix's cousin and Venetia's Felix's sister. But yeah, no, they're very one-dimensional.
But also, like, again, as I'm talking, I'm realizing more things because this one is the one that I've seen the least out of the bunch. But also, like, maybe it was a purpose. There was a purpose to that because, like, you were talking about the perspective thing with seeing the tour through Oliver's perspective. Maybe it's because he doesn't care to know. He doesn't care to realize.
Yeah.
We're seeing it from his perspective. We're seeing from what he chooses to show, what he chooses to learn, what he chooses to think. So we don't know much about the other characters until they blow up at him and, like, tell him about their, like, backstory, or, like, really talk to him about it. We don't get to see it. But also, I feel like we are missing another part too, especially in, like, again, Venetia. Like, we don't see anything of her.
Yeah.
Really, even though apparently, like, Oliver's supposed to know so much about her, we don't know anything about her, really.
Yeah. It's very unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's obvious that Felix is like the object of the movie.
Yeah. Was I saying Felix when I met Oliver a lot? I feel like I probably was.
But yeah, no, I definitely agree. I think the reason why, like you were saying, the reason why, like, we don't know too much about characters, like, we see them and we're like, oh yeah, I like them, but we don't know them. I think that's just also because it's from what Oliver was interested in knowing. Yeah, I want to also go into something else, a little, like, related to that, but in the same movie. And it's what it's what this article and other people have been saying about the character Barry, is that he has zero character development throughout the whole entire
Yes.
movie. He
Very
goes
sad.
through so many things in the movie. And without spoiling, I'm going to try to say it without spoiling, but you realize in the end, like, wow, like he didn't he didn't change. He would do it all again. With everything that happened, he would do it all again. This one article says the author is Elisa Wilkinson. She states in her article, "The point of Saltburn isn't what you think it is," released by the New York Times. She said that Oliver in the end turns out to be a bad and conniving freak in both obvious from the start and a way of sticking a thumb in the eye of a genre. He learns no lessons, reaches no conclusions, and attains no heights of spiritual transformation.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with Elisa.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I think he's just like, I think he's got a goal and he sticks to that goal and he gets it. I feel like that's the only real way that I can think of it.
Yeah, I'm really trying not to spoil it at all. It's kind of hard
Yeah.
since this whole movie is full of so much. But definitely closer to the end. Definitely not like at the very end. You can see absolutely nothing's changed. Like, I feel like a lot of people who maybe haven't seen the movie know what the ending scene is. It's like pretty infamous. That's the word I'm trying to say. But like, definitely like the scenes leading up to what he does in the end very much shows that character didn't learn anything. He did nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's the point.
Yeah.
It is the point. It's just to show that he's a freak.
Yeah, he's a freak.
He's a conniving
A very, very true to the definition freak,
Yeah.
which is really awful for the people around him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think he gets what he wanted for sure. I guess that kind of shows because, like I said before, like he had privilege the whole entire movie. He had, like, from the beginning, like, you're an Oxford student in, what is it, like, England?
Yeah.
You're good. Like, you don't need any more power than that. And he, like, he has the goal, he has the intention of getting more than that. He gets what he wants, and I think that kind of also just shows that like if you're the type of person with so much privilege that you get what you want, then you know the character had like he didn't learn anything. Like he didn't like have a downfall and then change after that. Like no, he was the same because he got what he wanted, and he was fine before. So
It's one of those movies that is where like evil wins basically, but it's different because you're not really rooting for the evil or rooting for anyone. You're kind of just watching it unfold and watching him win, you know?
Waiting to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely a weird movie. That was a weird night when we watched it too. But it was an odd experience. And I feel like the relationships that Oliver has are also concerning with like the mom at the very end. I can't say it without spoiling, but at the end, it's weird. And then with Venetia and Farley, it's very weird and like uncomfortably sexual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like we with the way that we described it, it kind of made it sound like we didn't like for me at least. I liked it, but like I don't know if you liked it.
I would watch it again because I just feel like it's something that you have to experience twice to fully see everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like not on my list. It's like not one that I'm like, oh, you have to see. I'm like, that was a movie.
I know.
I thought it was good. I enjoyed it, definitely. I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah, me too.
And I think when I go into watching movies, that's like the main thing I'm looking for is just entertainment.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
It wasn't boring to me at all. Yeah, it wasn't boring.
I don't feel like we can say anything else without spoiling.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Girl asleep.
Yeah.
Asleep. Yes.
This is my section. Girl Asleep by Rosemary Myers is basically about this teen girl who is 14, almost 15. Yeah. Her birthday is like really soon, and that's the main point of it. She doesn't have any friends except for one, which she meets on like the very first day of school. And along with her being very obviously an outcast of like her school, she's kind of the outcast of her family, but her whole family is the outcast, with her older sister constantly pushing her away and pushing everyone away, and her mom wanting to pull her in and wanting to make her have the best teenage years she can have without like listening to her daughter and like not giving her the stereotypical kind. And through this, she gets thrown a 15th birthday party that is by mass invite that she doesn't want, and that she doesn't want, and she resents her family for it. She gets really upset, and on the day of the party, she ends up going into her bedroom to like cool down, kind of, and ends up listening to a music box, which is her comfort item, and gets a splinter, making her fall into a like paralyzing sleep, I guess.
Yeah,
it's like
it's weird.
It's like a really weird like dream that makes her realize things about herself and makes her like change her outlook on life at the end and like be kind of a different person by the end of it.
Yeah. I really like this movie. I did watch this movie this morning at 1.5x speed, so if you don't have the best understanding of it, but I did really enjoy it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was crazy, and they're all Australians.
They're all Australian. It is an Aussie movie, and I believe it was in a award contest too. I think it won like something. It was like a film contest thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for them.
This is random, but when I was watching it, one thing that really stuck out to me was, well, for one, it was the costumes and the outfits and the and like the colors, but also I thought it was super cute and fun when the director would put like I don't know how to explain it, but for example, you know, in the scene where they were at like the main character, what's her name? Morgan? Greta was coming to school, and she was in the car, and on the school, instead of like
Oh
the
yeah,
school,
I
it
love
said
this too.
it said like
The next day.
the next day instead of where it would say the school, or on the door, the back of the door, it said like 1 hour 23 minutes 40
Yes.
seconds
Yeah.
later.
Okay.
Time jumps
And then
were incorporated.
yeah,
into the set,
it
which
was
is awesome.
in the
It was-
set.
Yeah.
And then when the person was painted in like the fully
Yes,
the
in the
background,
intro.
cool.
Yeah.
And to interrupt you again, like I've been
For
trying,
it.
they also do it on the day of the party. On the day of the party, her dad is putting up a banner that says like,
Yeah.
presumably happy birthday.
Yeah.
But it says like the day of the party when you first see it, like as Greta's walking in. But then later it says happy birthday.
Mhm.
Like they change it so that it's very much like
It's
telling
almost
you
like
what's
a-
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
It's like a cartoon almost.
yeah,
Yeah.
It was so cute when
It was
I
very
saw it because I don't really see that. I didn't see that in any other movies that I watched.
Yeah.
and
it's
I
not
loved
very
it.
common, and it's a.
No.
I really like it. I think
It's
it really
so
adds
smart,
something
too.
to a movie.
Yeah. It is very cartoony. This movie is very cartoony in like the best way possible. I think it's really fun.
Speaking of cartoon and fun, there's a dance scene which we know you had some
I-
opinions on, and
I
I'd love to hear
just-
it.
I didn't enjoy it because I don't think I don't find any enjoyment in like a flash mob.
I love a
I love a
mob.
flash mob.
Are you kidding me?
I don't. It's just. I felt like I felt like there were important things that could be happening in the movie that wasn't a random dance
Okay.
sequence.
Maybe I agree. I also found a quote from
Alright.
an article slash kind of a review. Girl Asleep review as a singular, enchanting, and expansive as a young person's mind. It's from 7 years ago by Luke Buckmaster, where he, don't giggle at me, where he says the film has a vibe about it too, particularly in the moments of choreographed dance, which impact the impression that Myers is sort of breaking the fourth wall and sort of not. I didn't get that. I'm kind of with you on it being just like a random dance scene, which I feel like maybe if I really paid attention, I could see some importance to it, but like I kind of don't,
You know.
because it's like different than the ending dance scene
Yeah.
between Greta and Elliot, where they're like spinning in a circle and it's like they're dancing
Fun.
together and it's like friendship and fun. That one was a flash mob, which I didn't think fit in the movie.
Yeah. But when everyone's like coming to the party and they're all dancing,
That's different.
that's different. I feel like it's more like, I guess in like a meaningful, symbolic sense, it's kind of like dancing is a very like exerting thing. So maybe with all these people coming in, it's kind of like exerting out Greta. And like she's just getting more and more overwhelmed with the amount of people that are coming because she doesn't really want them.
Yeah, and you can also tell in that scene the way it's shot, it's like tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Because all she can see is people coming in and people giving her presents, but they're like crowding her face.
Mhm.
And they're like kind of overwhelming her, and all she can see is like bright lights and loud music and people coming in trying to talk to her. That's
Yeah.
also like a important thing.
With that scene, I really liked all the dance scenes because I just love it when people dance. I think it's funny, but I don't think like the way that I took it was I don't think those people were actually coming in and dancing that way. I think that's very much implied because they were dancing like they were doing the same dance moves. But I think it was just because Greta, she started dancing too. Like at first she didn't like it. At first it was this tunnel vision. She was like, ew, I don't like this. But then she started dancing, and I thought that showed that like she didn't want it, but her mom was kind of right, and she was like, oh, she kind of like
maybe she should embrace
maybe
it.
she should have been like, yeah, a little bit more extroverted, done that, you know.
I feel like it's a whole thing because also in the beginning of the movie, the first people she meets is Elliot and the triplets, which are all named after gemstones. I don't really remember their names. It's like Jade and like
Jade is the only one I remember.
yeah, because she's the main one. The other two don't really talk.
Mhm.
But Sapphire is one of them. But she kind of meets them, and they're like the mean ones to her, and they aren't nice to her, and it's her almost like her only experience with people outside of Elliot and outside of her family at that school. So she just assumes that everyone's like that, and she just doesn't want to talk to people for risk of that happening again. So it's her realizing that they aren't, kind of, is what I think happened, where she started joining it.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the characters in this movie are also like very interesting, but not in the same way that Saltburn's characters are interesting.
No.
Because Saltburn's character is a little demented in like the nicest way possible, but I feel like in this movie they're a little more, I don't want to say real,
I would say real.
but they're like more relatable. I guess.
Yeah, I'm talking a lot, but I love this movie. Also, we haven't really talked about the dream.
Oh,
The dream scene, of course, when she falls asleep. That's not a spoiler.
Okay, sorry.
When she falls asleep, she, like, sort of meets her family again in the form of the way she sees them, kind of. Like, her dad is a swamp monster that is described as harmless and can't hurt her, but is going to take her to people who can, by him not stopping her mom from, like, having the party for her.
Yeah, and her mom being like that ice queen.
Mm-hmm.
Very, like, and she's like, I forget what she like does to her, but she's kind of like freezing her.
Yes, she's freezing her in time. Okay, this is a very important scene.
Yeah.
So basically, she goes in the ice cave and she sees her mom as an ice witch, and her mom is smashing music boxes, basically saying that they aren't the right tune, referencing Greta's music box that she got from her mom, because I believe she says, like, it's not the one from when I was young, and she's freezing Greta in time, saying she wants Greta to stay young and stay a teenager and, like, have the fun that she couldn't have, and she really wants those days back. It's kind of the whole thing about it.
Yeah. I think it's nice that her sister is kind of the one like guiding her through it, because when you have crazy parents, your siblings are like
Your saving grace.
your saving grace. Yeah.
Also, I'd like to point out that the two actors are not the same. The actress that plays her sister does not play the woman in the forest. I don't know if that was because of a filming days thing or what, but I choose to believe it's the filming days thing because they look very similar.
Yeah, I thought they were.
They look very similar, so I think it's like they couldn't get the sister back, because at the end you see her like take the. Can we talk about the tape, the music thing?
The car.
Okay.
The car when they played it.
Yeah, basically what happens is the triplets write a song for her and make fun of her through the song. Her sister takes the tape of the song and kind of is like, don't worry about it. You're going to be okay. I was. And that's kind of what the wild woman was to her. So I'd like to believe they're supposed to be the same person, but they were not the same actor.
That's insane. I
I
thought they
know.
were the exact same person.
Me too.
Literally right now.
And then it said in like the credits when it had like the photos of them that they were two different people.
That's crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got anything?
Wait, I want to talk about the sister's boyfriend.
He's 24,
He
by the
was
way.
weird.
He's 24?
Yeah. No, because basically what happened was he was in a relationship with Greta's sister, but he was very weirdly close with all of the family members in a weird way. Like, he mentioned that, like, there's a time where he told the girlfriend, what's the girlfriend's name?
Genevieve.
That he told Genevieve, all the girls in your family are hot.
Yeah.
And then he looked at Greta, who was 14.
Yeah.
And then they had a
weird.
dance scene at the end, and I just thought he was weird. Don't know why he was there.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to go into it without spoilers, but in the dream sequence, his character is awful.
His character is the, like, musician that her sister really likes, is what it's supposed to be. And the musician is described as highly sexual, and that's what the boyfriend is, and he does creepy things in the dream, but it's implied that he gets through with it, though, is the thing. Because it's implied that he does it, so it's like, did he do something weird to Greta that kind of, like, messed with her mentally that we didn't see on screen?
Yeah.
Or is she just, like, worried something may happen?
I don't know, because he's also like awfully comfortable being affectionate with Greta's sister in front of her.
Yeah.
Genevieve.
With the whole, like, kissing with, like, Greta's face, like, behind them. Like,
Yeah.
in the car.
Which is also not something I would ever do with any of my siblings, because that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Weird guy.
Yeah. I don't know how much we can talk about without spoiling the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've also delved in a little too deep.
Yeah,
We have.
I was just really excited about them incorporating, like, the hours and the times and, like, the stuff that only the
I
audience
really,
is
really
supposed to
love
see.
that.
I love that, and I want to see more of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Brianna,
Oh,
I'm a
are we-
cheerleader.
Okay, but I'm a Cheerleader is the next movie. And so basically, But I'm a Cheerleader is about this girl, Megan, and she's a cheerleader, she's Christian, she has a boyfriend, she's living like a pretty good life. And then her entire family, her boyfriend, and a bunch of her friends think that she's a lesbian. And she's shocked by this. She's like, no way, I'm not a lesbian. But they end up sending her to a conversion camp called True Directions, which is really ineffective.
Yeah.
But there, Megan, she really does she really comes to, I don't want to say comes to as a lesbian.
Comes to terms with being
Comes
a
to
lesbian.
terms with being a lesbian. And basically in the end, the conversion camp, which is very campy, does the exact opposite of what it's supposed to do. And
Yeah, we should. I'd love to bring up one very special guy in this movie, which is RuPaul.
RuPaul, the drag queen, the drag icon.
The queen of drag.
And it was funny. It was pretty ironic because he showed up to her door, to Megan's door, and he took her away to the conversion camp, dressed up as a straight man.
Except he was wearing booty shorts.
He was wearing booty
He's wearing
shorts.
booty shorts and a shirt that said,
being straight is great or something.
yeah, straight is great,
Yeah.
which is
Right.
insane. But also I think that also kind of just that and everything about the set design and the plot just kind of really shoves on this idea that this is not to be taken seriously.
Oh yeah.
Because RuPaul's been the biggest drag icon
The biggest queen.
ever, literally ever. So to have him play a cured gay man,
Yeah.
is funny. It is ironic, yeah.
Yeah.
I also just loved the outfits and the colors and the cinematography with this movie.
Yeah.
One outfit, like we just talked about, the straight is great one.
Mhm.
I think they were just I don't know, and all the boys in the conversion camp wore blue, and then all the girls wore pink in their little dresses. And I don't know if there's too much meaning behind it, but I just thought it was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's very campy. It's trying to push that girls like pink, boys like blue, ideas of gender and sexuality.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting.
And they also make them do the trials.
The trials.
The trials.
Of having the girls clean and take care of fake babies, and then the boys have to chop wood and
throw axes.
yeah. And I think it's
Masculine.
it's fun to see how each group acts to it. The girls who have to clean, sew, and take care of babies, just flirting with each other. They're hardcore flirting with each other.
They're also very touchy
Uh-huh.
the entire time, and the boys are also touchy, and they're kind of ogling at each other.
They're ogling each other, but they're also laughing about it almost.
Yeah.
Their whole thing is just having fun and not really doing it too well because they're actually under the watch of RuPaul.
Well, yeah.
They aren't really he can't really do it either.
Yeah. And he's also shown ogling at the woman who runs the conversion camp, son.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's her name? Mary Brown is the woman who runs the conversion camp, and her son is also gay.
Yeah.
Which is so, it's shown the first, I don't know if it's the first time you meet him, but when he's shown that it's oh yeah, this guy's definitely gay, he's also wearing booty shorts, but he's sipping a fruity cocktail through a twisty straw, which is, I guess, gay.
Fruity.
It's fruity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely enjoyed how unserious this movie was and the campiness of it all. And I found this one article, a Washington Post article from July 14th, year 2000, so I think a couple months or weeks after the movie came out. Michael O'Sullivan stated that the camp is two-dimensionally cartoony. It's a two-dimensional cartoon hybrid of Alcoholics Anonymous and Dog Obedience School, which is an outlandish thing to say. The Alcoholic Anonymous part I do kind of understand with the group therapy and when they kind of they treat homosexuality as an addiction when Natasha Lyonne's Megan is first brought to the camp.
With the first step is admitting it.
Yeah.
Thing. That's definitely Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah.
And then the dog obedience school thing. That's
When two
kind of
of
funny.
the two of the male gay characters make out, like they make out on the floor. And then Mary Brown comes in and she catches. Is it Mary Brown? It might have been RuPaul.
I don't know who came in, but I do know that Megan catches them and then yells about it. So that's how
I think it's RuPaul, and then Mary Brown ends up putting one of them into a week long of solitary confinement in a doghouse, which is not only completely unethical, but also just like crazy. Because it's like, what?
Another thing is they give them tasers for any time they have thoughts about the same sex to tase themselves with. As in, like, how people, when, like, dogs do something bad, spray them with a spray bottle or, like, ring a bell or, like, something.
But also, shock collars.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about shock collars.
Yeah, which also unethical. But
yeah.
I think the use of them is weird. There's this one character, her name is Sinead. Her name is Sinead, and she's, like, a total asshole.
Yeah.
So she uses it, but in a weird way, she's kind of getting off to it, which again is also like another instance where the camp is just backfiring on itself.
Yeah.
You know?
You got anything?
Yeah. No, I thought it was cute, fun. I agree. It was just the point was that it, like, those camps don't really work. Yeah. Love RuPaul.
Yeah. There definitely was a point to the movie of being like, the camps are stupid. You can do whatever you want, but it's gonna backfire and it's not gonna work, and it's not really gonna fix anyone or make anyone better, because it's just people aren't realizing it for what it is, which isn't anything wrong.
Yeah.
I think the point was, like, it was just mainly a comedy movie. But yeah,
a rom-com.
Yeah, rom-com.
Yes.
I'd love to talk about movies all day, but
we gotta go.
But we gotta go.
We are out on time.
So thank you so much for watching the 123 Movies podcast. It was a pleasure being here and talking about movies. But that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The exponential growth from the program from my first year to my third year now, that's what keeps me coming back and keeps me excited and just like fulfills me as a person.
It's so impressive, and we every time we walk in here, you guys are doing something different. It's great. It's
nothing but opportunities here, and we have sports to cover, we have the equipment.
Because the more ambitious you are, the more opportunities you'll have.
On-the-job training is huge.
You get the hands-on experience.
When someone asks who can do it, you know, you can raise your hand and say, I can do it, so.
Joining the class was the best decision I ever made.
Stand by, we're going to go to cut one. And cut one. Cross court to Audrey Jones. Audrey for three! It is good! With 1.3 seconds left on the game clock, Audrey Jones with one of the biggest shots.
The sky's the limit, really, with what we can do here.